It was the first day of sophomore year when I noticed her. Emily wasn't like the other girls in school. She had this light about her, something that made people want to be around her. Her hair, blonde and flowing like sunshine, always seemed to shine just a little brighter. Her smile, it could melt even the coldest heart. She was kind to everyone, and I was no exception. But what stood out to me the most was the way she made me feel like I was the only one in the room when she talked to me. At first, it was casual. We were in the same English class. We sat next to each other often. We exchanged smiles, short conversations. And then, one day, she asked me for help with a book report. I was nervous, but I agreed. I didn't know at the time that this small act would begin something beautiful. We started talking more, studying together after school. We laughed, we argued, and we shared more than I thought possible for someone so young. Emily was easy to talk to. She understood me in a way that no one else did. She had dreams, big ones, and she didn't just talk about them. She worked towards them every single day. I started to fall for her, and with each passing day, I felt like I couldn't hide it anymore. My heart raced whenever she walked by, and I couldn't focus on anything else when she was near. But there was something I didn't have the courage to tell her, how deeply I cared for her, how much I wanted to hold her hand and tell her that I'd never let her go. But I didn't, because I was scared of rejection, scared of ruining our friendship, scared of the unknown. One night, as I sat in my room, something changed. I couldn't take it anymore. I knew that I had to tell Emily how I felt, but I couldn't say the words out loud. So, I decided to write a letter. I grabbed a pen, a blank sheet of paper, and let my thoughts flow. I poured out everything I'd been feeling, the excitement, the butterflies in my stomach, and the fear that she wouldn't feel the same. I wrote, "Emily, I don't know how to say this to you, but I can't keep it inside anymore. Every moment with you feels like the best moment of my life. You make me feel like I can be myself, and that's something I've never had with anyone before. I don't want to lose you. I just want you to know how much you mean to me." But then, as I looked at the letter, doubt crept in. What if she didn't feel the same? What if it ruined everything? What if she saw me as nothing more than a friend? What if I just wasn't enough? I folded the letter and put it in an envelope. And for days, I carried it with me. I kept it in my backpack, then my locker, and finally, it ended up on my desk. But I never gave it to her. I never had the courage. I wanted to send it. I wanted to tell her. But I didn't. And that's where it stayed, unfinished, unsent, and buried deep in my heart. As time went on, things started to change. High school can be a funny thing. People grow, and things that seemed important yesterday fade away the next. Emily and I continued to hang out, but there was a distance between us that wasn't there before. I couldn't explain it. Maybe it was me. Maybe it was her. But the connection we once had started to feel like it was slipping away. She started dating someone else, a guy named David. He wasn't like me. He was confident, outgoing, and everything I wasn't. I remember the day she told me. It was a rainy afternoon, and we were sitting on the bleachers after school. She said, "I've been thinking about it a lot, and I've decided to go out with David. I really like him." At that moment, my heart sank. I couldn't believe it. I felt a mixture of sadness and jealousy, feelings I didn't expect to have. I had always been there for Emily. I was the one who supported her during the tough times, the one who listened when no one else did. Yet, in the end, it wasn't me she chose. I realized that somewhere along the way, I had missed my chance. I smiled at her, even though I was breaking inside. I'm happy for you, Emily. I hope it works out, I said, trying to sound genuine. But the truth was, it didn't feel like anything was going to work out for me anymore. The moment I had been waiting for, the moment I should have spoken up, should have handed her that letter, had passed. And now, she was with David. She was moving forward with her life, while I was stuck in the past, holding on to something I had never had the courage to fight for. I tried to be happy for her. I really did. But deep down, I was regretful and bitter, questioning what could have been if I had just been brave enough to send that letter. What if she had felt the same way? What if I hadn't let my fear of rejection stand in the way of telling her how I truly felt? Years passed. We graduated high school, and life moved on. I went off to college, and Emily stayed close to home. We didn't talk much after that. Every now and then, I would hear about her, through mutual friends or social media, but the Emily I once knew seemed so far away. The girl who smiled at me and made me feel like I was the most important person in the world was gone. She was happy, living her life, while I was stuck in the same place, replaying the moments we had shared in my mind. I often thought about the letter I had written to her, the letter that remained tucked away in my desk drawer, gathering dust. I sometimes wondered if Emily ever thought about me. Did she remember the friendship we had? Did she wonder if I felt the same? Or had she moved on completely, like I should have done years ago? I kept holding on to that letter, keeping it as a reminder of my biggest regret. What if I had sent it? What if I had told her the truth? Would it have made a difference? Could I have been the one she chose instead of David? I couldn't help but imagine a different life, one where we had been together, where the love we shared in high school had blossomed into something more. But the truth was, I would never know. I never gave her that chance. I never gave myself the courage to speak up, and now that opportunity was lost. The years and the distance between us were too much. The regret of not taking that leap weighed heavily on me. And every time I saw her smile in a photo or heard someone talk about her, I was reminded of the love that was never meant to be. One day, as I was cleaning out my old things, I found the letter again. This time, I didn't just read it. I sat down, holding it in my hands, and thought about everything. About Emily, about me, about all the mistakes and missed opportunities. And then, something clicked. It was time to let it go, time to move on, time to stop living in the past and wondering what could have been. I had to make peace with the fact that some things are meant to stay in the past, and some stories are never meant to be finished. I took the letter, went outside, and burned it. The flames consumed the paper, and as it turned to ash, so did the weight in my heart. I realized that the love letter I never sent wasn't the end of my story. It was just a chapter, and the chapters that came after were filled with growth, new experiences, and new opportunities. I've learned a lot since that letter. I've learned that love isn't just about words. It's about actions. It's about being brave enough to say how you feel before it's too late. And it's about letting go of the things that hold you back. Maybe you have a love letter you never sent. Maybe you've held on to something, wondering what might have been. But I promise you, sometimes letting go is the best thing you can do, because life is too short to dwell on the past. And love, true love, isn't found in a letter or in words that were never said. It's found in the choices we make today. So, if you have a letter in your drawer, or a piece of your heart that's been left unsaid, maybe it's time to ask yourself, what are you waiting for? Life won't wait for you. Take that step. Send that letter. Or maybe, just maybe, learn to let go. Because the most beautiful stories aren't always the ones we keep locked inside. Sometimes, they're the ones we choose to write with our lives. If you've ever had a love you didn't express, or a moment you didn't take, share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed the video.